In the headlines, President Tinubu meets oil marketers over subsidy removal, directs Economic Council to work on subsidy palliatives. Police seal off Nasarawa House of Assembly complex over leadership crisis. National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency report says Nigeria lost 150 billion naira to gas flaring in 4 months. And on the foreign scene, 3 shot as Israeli forces raid Ramallah in occupied West Bank. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday met with major oil marketers at Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. The major oil marketers were led by Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun to the State House in Abuja. President Tinubu directed that National Economic Council, led by Vice President Kashim Shettima, to begin the process of providing palliatives to mitigate the effects of fuel subsidy removal. The oil marketers announced their intention to donate 50 to 100 50-seater mass transit buses that would run on compressed natural gas, costing 100 million naira each and 10 billion naira cumulatively to cushion the effect of the removal within the next 30 days. The chairman, DAPMAN, and managing director, Chief Executive Officer, Northwest Petroleum and Gas Company Limited, Winifred Akpani, brief State House correspondents after the meeting.
Others are benefiting. They're benefiting wrongly. Nigeria cannot be subsidizing the whole of Africa when we have a lot of our own problems. So we came today to express our support and to see how we can cooperate with government, because ultimately you can't kill the people you are trying to save. So we're not going to sit back and say, hey, yes, you have removed subsidies, so it's fine.
There's really no need for questions because it's a courtesy call and it's so straightforward, and they have pledged their, cooperation with the government on this policy and its implementation. And there are quite a number of initiatives that they have reeled out to the president in terms of support. So the major item is that they are part of the organized private sector. This is the major oil marketers. They are supporting the deregulation, the full deregulation of the oil sector. And they have pledged their support in implementation of the intervention. The intervention where we don't want to call these things palliatives, but it's intervention. So both the government intervention and their own interventions complementing each other will seriously uplift the masses from whatever envisaged negative impact of that policy. It will act as a cushion.
President Bola Tinubu has called on the governors to collaborate with the federal government to tackle the menace of poverty in the country. Tinubu made the call when he hosted members of the Nigerian Governors Forum at the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Wednesday. He told the governors that the level of poverty and impoverishment is unacceptable, advising them to downplay political differences and focus on alleviating the sufferings and pains of the people. The president said he is prepared to share ideas, strengthen institutions, and create bottom-up frameworks that will improve the livelihood of Nigerians. The governors, who took turns to speak, expressed happiness with the president's subsidy removal decision, all-inclusive leadership, and statesmanship. The governors made suggestions highlighting the plight of citizens in their states, assuring the president of their support in preferring solutions through the National Economic Council. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says it has the numerical strength to force down the price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol. The national president of the association, Chinedu Okoronkwo, disclosed this to journalists at a news conference in Abuja on Wednesday. Okoronkwo said his members are totally in support of fuel subsidy removal by President Bola Tinubu and expressed optimism that the unbundling of the downstream sector has opened doors for more investors to come in. The IPMAN president expressed optimism that the association has the numerical strength to force down the price of fuel once they start independent importation of the products. Following the president's pronouncement that fuel subsidy has ended, the Nigerian National Petrol Company Limited announced adjustment in the pump price of petrol, which now sells for as high as 500 naira per litre from 184 naira per litre. Nigerians have continued to lament over removal of fuel subsidy and its implications on the economy. Some artisans and other small-scale business owners in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are crying over the loss of businesses following pump price hike by the federal government. Ado Musa completes the report.
Artisans in Jos, particularly those using fuel in their daily businesses, are decrying the increase of fuel price, saying that the development has negatively affected their businesses. The artisans say, although the decision to remove the subsidy is a welcome idea, but government should have planned some palliatives that will help the common man before arriving at that decision. You can see it yourself. Things have not been easy for us. Fuel is very expensive now. We are just managing our lives. We used to collect 100 naira to get your tire, but now it is 200 naira. People should know that the fuel is costly, but they keep complaining. People will not understand.
The problem, after they have removed the subsidy, is really affecting my business because now sales is no more like before. Business is down for me. Before I used to buy fuel per litre at 140, 150, but now fuel is reaching 550, 600 for me now. And the paper that I use, I buy it at 600 and it became 240. Now I'm buying paper at 5,000 naira. Now, if I try to say I should do the margin and do the calculation to increase the rate of the service that I do, people won't be patronizing my shop that much.
Shehu Nyalu, Northeast and North Central Chairman of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, also says subsidy removal is already affecting businesses as people are not buying goods like before.
We don't have an issue removing the fuel subsidy. Of course, there will be an immediate impact, negative impact. Negative in the sense that things are going to go up. Money is not at hand. People don't have liquidity. As manufacturers, we are there to manufacture, to send to the public, to sell. But whereby you manufacture, it goes to the market and people don't buy. You are left with inventory.
The chairman, however, advised the federal government to look at some alternatives to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal.
Federal government should look at other alternatives of cushioning the effect of this subsidy. Maybe you provide alternative, like in the past, government used to buy these luxurious buses, put it on the road. That will reduce and then give it to the public at a very minimal transportation cost. So government should also focus on revitalizing the rail system.
Many Nigerians are crying over the removal of the fuel subsidy, even as the government said it is looking at some alternatives that will help to reduce the suffering. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Meanwhile, Ogun State government has set up a committee to work out modalities on various forms of interventions to cushion the effects of petroleum subsidy removal by the federal government. At a meeting with the leadership of the organized labor unions in the state at the governor's office in Abeokuta, the state capital, Governor Dakwa Abiodun said this has become imperative in view of the multiplier effects of the subsidy on incomes of the state workforce. The governor said the proposed palliatives is to reduce and not to totally erase the burdens of the removal, commending the bold decision of the Bola Tinubu administration.
Was a player in that industry before. I have been very concerned about the multiplier effect of this and how this affects the well-being and the wherewithal of our workers to come to work, to go back to work, and to continue to afford their responsibilities and also their well-being.
Just met with His Excellency Prince Dr. Dapo Abiodun MFR, CON, and on his invitation to see to how he's going to cushion the effect of all the civil servants in Ogun State and those people in the informal sector, in ensuring that some palliative is measured out to them before the signal from the federal government, because we learned that the federal government is having similar program for the entire citizen. So the meeting has been cracked into committee, and he has given us a mandate of reporting back on Thursday when we are going to make it public to the entire citizen of Abia State.
Moving to politics, All Progressive Congress, APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission have opposed testimonies of a witness brought by People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar before the Election Petition Tribunal. One of the witnesses called to testify was an INEC ad hoc staff during the election, but respondents in the petition objected to him giving evidence. Noel Sampson has the report.
The party expressed shock over the objection of testimonies of witness it brought to court by INEC and APC. Counsel for the party, Chris Uche, told the court that witnesses were subpoenaed to appear in evidence, expressing his displeasure over INEC conduct, which has failed to provide his legal team with the required documents after paying the necessary fees.
It's quite surprising that the documents INEC has been objecting to these past days that we have been tendering documents are all certified true copies of INEC's documents. These are documents we applied for to INEC, and by law, INEC is authorized to release these documents to us after certification. And INEC received money from us, and we have the receipt for even a particular batch that we paid 6.69 million naira for documents.
Counsel to Labour Party Paul Ananaba also gives clarifications on some documents presented.
It is obvious that we have so much to present, and the court has been magnanimous, and our colleagues have worked with us. So we have made the presentations, and we have so much more to present, even as our days keep moving. Part of the contentions is 36 states and the FCT. So EC8D is the result of the 36 states and FCT, and EC8DA is the national result. It will be clearer when we begin to address the court on those two forms.
The chairman of the court, Justice Haruna Tamani, adjourned proceedings until Thursday to allow respondents study the witness's statement for seamless cross-examination. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The police have sealed off the Nasarawa House of Assembly complex to avert a breakdown of law and order following the emergence of two speakers for the 7th Assembly. The State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Ramhan Nansel, said this on Wednesday in a statement in Lafia. Nansel said that the action was due to a directive by the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mayaki Muhammad Baba. He said that the commissioner gave the directive after consultation with other security agencies in the state. Members-elect on Tuesday, June 6th, held two parallel proceedings resulting in the emergence of two different speakers for the Assembly. Still in politics, Kaduna State Governor Obasani has approved the appointment of Sekinatu Hassan Idris as the new clerk of the State House of Assembly. This is sequel to the receipt by the governor of the report of the Assembly Service Commission and processes for appointment of clerk to the legislature. Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Muhammad Lawal Shehu, disclosed this in a statement issued Wednesday night. According to him, the new clerk is a seasoned lawyer, a National Productivity Award winner, top civil servant, and long-standing election observer. It could be recalled that the immediate past clerk of the House was sacked by the former governor, Nasser El-Rufai, 2 days before the ex-governor's tenure elapsed. Before Sakina's appointment, she was the acting director, Legislative Drafting Department, Kaduna State House of Assembly, Deputy Director, Legislative Drafting Department, Kaduna State House of Assembly. And with that, you're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at ways to tackle the burden of plastic pollution. Do stay with us.
That's great.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our major stories. You heard that President Tinubu meets oil marketers over subsidy removal, directs Economic Council to work on subsidy palliatives. You also heard that police seal off Nasarawa House of Assembly complex over leadership crisis. Moving to security, the General Officer commanding 8th Division, Major General Godwin Mudkut, has vowed that the perpetrators of the deadly attacks in Sokoto State will be nabbed and dealt with in a matter of days. General Mudkut made the pledge during a courtesy visit to the State Governor Ahmed Aliyu Wednesday in Sokoto. Bandits last weekend unleashed terror on communities in Tangaza local government area of the state, killing 37 persons. Mudkut, who is coordinator of Operation Hadarin Daji, promised to work together with the state government to prevent deadly attacks in the state. Responding, Governor Aliyu assured them of his government's maximum support to secure the state. He said the issue of security is part of his 9-point agenda, therefore he will leave no stone unturned in protecting his people. It has been estimated that 5 trillion pieces of plastic waste are laying on over 360 million square meters land and ocean globally, with Africa constituting the highest burden of plastic pollution. This was disclosed by an environmental expert of the Department of Environmental Management Technology of the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. Adamu Imam has the report.
With the theme, Solution to Plastic Pollution, environmental experts say the amount of effect of plastic materials are causing havoc on the natural environment, leading to long-term devastation on plants, animals, and humans. They said currently both individual and corporate bodies are depositing large amounts of unnatural materials into the environment, particularly agricultural soil, without understanding the negative effect of such action.
Public, and this plastic create a lot of problem to the environment, more especially to the soil. Our communities are agrarian in nature, so it has effect on the soil. It also has effect. It's one of the causes of flooding, because the plastic waste that have been discarded normally block the drainages, and when it rains heavily, it now causes flooding. It also have a hazardous effect with regard to the air.
With that, we can be able to fight poverty with that. Because if we can now take at least 50% of the plastic thrown into the public, into the environment, then we can be able to generate not less than like 2.5 trillion US dollars. Then with that can be reinjected, can be unleashed and be reinjected into the economy. And that will now create a lot of values. So that is why, yes, we can be able to use, because that is what some people are now even saying. You can turn problem into an opportunity. So plastic, yes, is a problem, but at the same time, we can now utilize it and fight for it. Because once we attach value to it, then people will go into it.
In the same vein, students embark on awareness creation on the importance of waste to wealth.
The theme of this year is well chosen because of the impact, the negative impact plastic use has been playing in our environment, the negative impact. So the rate at which we are generating plastic waste is becoming unbecoming, and we need to reverse it. So if not, the planet Earth might go into extinction.
You see plastics, papers, just as you see in our school, we pack everything, we pack them, put them inside trash. Some sell them and some burn them there. So I would like to advise my parents, my sisters, my colleagues and everybody that we should try and adapt to this thing so that we'll be packing everything in our environment.
According to Adewale, the idea to celebrate the day is by encouraging the younger generation to global sanitation as well as development of schools' environment and their communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The National Population Commission in Lagos Wednesday said it will take advantage of the postponement of the 2023 census exercise to revisit some hard-to-reach locations in the state. The NPC would also use the opportunity to update information on 6 local governments which were demarcated between 2015-2016 when the Commission was still using analog methods to carry out enumeration area demarcation. The NPC Federal Commissioner for Lagos State, Abimbola Salu Hundein, while briefing newsmen at the Commission's office, said physical demarcation of the 6 local government areas would be carried out again with the help of the digital technology acquired for the exercise. She disclosed that out of the 1 million ad hoc staff recruited nationwide for the exercise, 5,000 who were hired from Lagos had been trained and their allowances paid in preparation for the exercise. She stated that the Commission had also acquired personnel digital assistance for the 2023 census, adding that adequate arrangements has been made in respect of the storage and security of these equipments, which are being kept in the Lagos office of the Central Bank. In business, oil and gas companies operating in Nigeria fled 92.3 million standard cubic feet of gas worth an estimated 150.8 billion naira between January and April 2023. The figure was contained in a recent National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency report. It represents a 79.5% increase against 50.3 cubic flare of gas fled in 2022. Consequently, the oil-producing firms responsible for this flaring are expected to pay penalties of $184.6 million, an equivalent of 85.7 billion naira, for breaching the gas flaring laws in the 4 months. The report also noted that the volume of gas flared in the 4 months is equivalent to 4.9 million tons of carbon dioxide emission and has a power generation potential of 9,200 gigawatts of electricity per hour. Now, on the international scene, at least 6 people have been hospitalized, 3 with gunshot wounds after Israeli forces opened fire on stone-throwing Palestinian youths during a raid by Israel into the Palestinian city of Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Reports say a large Israeli military convoy arrived in downtown Ramallah early on Thursday, the seat of the Palestinian government, leading hundreds of Palestinians to gather in the area. Israeli forces, said to be on an operation to demolish a home in Ramallah, fired live bullets, stun grenades and tear gas at the crowd of Palestinian youths who hurled stones, the witness said, while video clips uploaded to social media purported to show Molotov cocktails thrown at Israeli troops. The Palestinian Health Ministry said at least 6 people were transferred to hospital for treatment, including 3 who sustained gunshot wounds. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.